young person can be very. Yeah. Arav, I'm a younger sister and I'm super annoying. I know exactly how annoying I am.
Okay, so Sandesh is saying we can get started in 2 minutes. So we'll start and then you can ask all the questions to Jonah. Okay? Yes, Arav. So we will just start and then you can ask as many questions as you want. Hi everyone. Very warm welcome. It's still not live. Is it live? Are we live, Sandesh?
5 seconds more.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. A very warm welcome to Avishkaar Talks. We are meeting after a very long time, mostly because of what we have been dealing with as far as COVID-19 has been impacting us. But during this period, we heard from a lot of you parents, teachers, about how difficult it is, and there was this overload of online sessions, webinars, online classes. But more importantly, we felt like while we adults are able to talk a lot about these in different forums with our friends, um, children children have had a hard time as well, just being in the confines of home, sometimes feeling upset, sometimes feeling angry, ending up spending a lot of time on screens, and of course parents get upset about it. Doing the online classes and getting distracted. So one of the things that we felt that children, the agency, the ability to do something about it, there was even less of it during the COVID times. And we felt that what would be best is to have children here and have a very special person. Jyotsna Aggarwal, she is one of my closest friends. We've known each other for 25 years, but more importantly, she is building a really amazing organization around mental health and using technology to support mental health. So we thought we'll change the format a little bit and get children to come here and ask questions directly. So I'll hand it over to Jo now, and let her introduce herself, and then we'll have children speak to her and ask her questions. There are many questions that have come in anonymously as well. So I will try and insert a few of them also on behalf of children who are not here. So Jo, over to you.
Thank you, Pooja. It's amazing to be here with all of you. Well, I run, as you can probably see on the top right of my screen, there's this penguin. So I run an organization that has built this app, which has a little penguin called Wysa that you can talk to. And you can chat with it, you can message it, and it will actually help you feel better. So out of every 10 people who come to talk to Wysa, 9 of them say they actually felt better after they were feeling very upset. And how do you learn how to feel better? Because most of the time, these negative thoughts and, I'm not okay, or somebody else is not okay, or the situation is not okay. And right now, I think we have all three. You're feeling afraid for yourself. You're saying, why am I not in college? Why am I not playing? My parents don't want me to play. My parents don't want me to use a screen. Nothing I do is right. And there's that sense of anxiety and there's that sense of anger. All of those are called negative emotions. These are emotions that reduce your energy. So positive emotions increase your energy, make you feel like you can do anything. Negative emotions suck your energy. And my job in my company is to use artificial intelligence to create, like, think of it like a flight simulator, where you're not old enough to go out and fly, but even if you were, you would need to learn on a simulator first because you can't risk going up. So it's like that safe space where you can try to say things, anything you want, and it will actually help you learn how to manage all these thoughts in your head and learn how you can get out of it. So you can just chat with it for 5 to 10 minutes and you'll feel better. That's what I've built. And I'm here to talk to you both about how you can learn some of the things that Wysa would play with you or would actually walk you through. But I'm here to also talk about what mental health means to you, and especially in this time.
Great. Thanks so much, Joe. So, as I said, some of we got lots and lots of questions around it, both from parents and children. And a lot of them were around, children saying, look, I know I shouldn't be on screen that much, but I don't know how to stop. My mother gets upset, my mom gets upset when I am on the phone all the time, but I just don't know how to stop. Or there are some children who said, I'm not able to sleep on time, I'm just staying up late, and again my mother or my father keeps saying you have to sleep, but I'm not able to. So these are some of the things that children are going through, especially children in middle school, anywhere from third grade to 10th grade teenagers. um, so I will actually just open the floor, and let um, that we have some amazing kids here. So we will just open the floor and allow and get you to ask questions. Vihar, Advait, Kashvi, Arav, Swasti, Driksha. Just introduce yourself and ask the question you have for Joe ma'am. Who wants to go first? Driksha, you all, yeah, okay, Kashvi, you go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Hari Om. I am Kashvi Adhikari. I study in second class. My school name is Chinmay Vidyalaya. My question is, when can I go back to school? And it is necessary to maintain the social distance in the school while playing on the ground.
Kashri, by the time you're able to go back to school and when you are able to play outside, um, I think we will be in a position that you will be able to be safe outdoors in playing with other people. So, but until then, but especially for children your age, um, you cannot bring kids back to school and then expect them to always stay 6 feet apart from each other. So there is a lot of careful analysis to make sure that you're safe. And Kashmir, not going to school must be very difficult for you. I know you come through everything with a big smile on your face. How do you manage to do that? What do you think, Kashmir, when you, like, I can't go to school, but still you're smiling? What do you think to make yourself smile?
If I go to school,
Who else? Who next?
Advait, you want to ask? Oh, yeah, Vihar, go ahead.
hello Joe ma'am, hello Pooja ma'am. My question is, new diseases keep appearing. When will we able to attend school and get back to normal school life?
Same question, Joe.
So when will you? So this is the question that is in all your heads, right? When will we be able to get back to normal school life? Can I ask you a question back? Now you know that this date is not in your control or my control, right? Knowing it,
Yes.
we don't control when it happens. It's not even in the government's control because somehow everything has to get better. But what are some things that you're missing in school that you can still do while at home? Like, what are some things that you're actually really feeling like you're losing? It might be your sports or games. What are some things that you're really missing?
My friends.
What can you do to feel like you're still with your friends?
I play with them and mm, I fight with them and I skate with them.
Have you tried doing online gaming with your friends?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
no.
No? I thought you like making games and playing games. If you play a game online with your friends, you can still fight with them, say they cheated. There are a lot of what it is for us to manage all of this anxiety is to get back a sense of control. So, what both of you are telling me is that you're feeling anxious because there's so much uncertainty. Do you understand uncertainty? Like, when you're going to school, and now you don't know when you're going to school. When we are in a situation when we don't know what's going to happen, right? It's not even that it's going to be 1 year later. It's just that I don't know when. That there's a part of your brain called the amygdala. And inside that amygdala, there is a part that starts feeling very anxious whenever there is uncertainty. So your neurons start making you angry, anxious, all of those things. So what you need to do then is to take your brain and focus in on things that are absolutely certain. So that bit of uncertainty in your life, like when is school starting, you'll start looking. How many of you play cricket? I can see a number of you. So when the ball is coming at you, all you can see is the ball, right? Now you don't know where the ball is going. The ball is very uncertain, but your whole focus is on the ball. That's because your brain is designed to put a lot of attention to that one piece of uncertainty around you, right? You know that the tree is going to stay a tree. You know that the road is going to stay a road, but that ball is going to change, and I don't know how. So your brain is fully focused on the ball. Right now, you don't know where the school is going to open. Your brain is fully focused on the school. Now, when you're about to hit the ball, it's very important that you look at the ball and nothing else. But when you're living at home, it's really important to look at all the other good things you can do rather than focus on that one ball of when is coming back. Does that make sense? So we have to sort of program our brains, just like you program your software, to say, is this useful? It is very useful when I'm about to hit a ball. It is not very useful when I'm preparing to go to school because I don't know when the school is going to open. But until then, I know how I want to live my life. I want to live my life fighting with my friends. So Pooja and I fight once in a couple of days. We cannot meet. Sometimes we will walk on other sides of the road. Sometimes she'll come under my balcony and I will fight with her. But most of the time it's on the phone. But you can make sure that you have that sense of what you can do rather than the uncertainty. And your brain will keep trying to trick you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Joe, before we started, you were talking about, how you started Visa, and all of the children here are all builders. They love to build, they love to make projects, and talked about all the different exciting projects they make. So is there anything there where, if you are you feel like this is not in my control, but this is what I can do. So like for you, your journey of building Visa will be helpful for the kids to know that, yeah, you are stuck, it's problematic, then what do you do about it?
Absolutely. What happened to me was I had quit my job and I made my husband quit his job also. So both of us no salary at home, and we had children like you. So and we are building this product, and we think it's going to be a great product, and we launch it, and it fails. And after it failed, there is so much uncertainty about what you will do next. But also there is that sense of, am I a failure? because I have failed, and I fell into depression. And out of that came just one thought for me, that even if I am guaranteed to fail, I still have to do something. And because I was trying to teach myself and hack my brain out of depression, I said, let me try to solve mental health. Let me try to help everybody else deal with all of these negative emotions. Because to be honest, if we know that we will not feel anxious, we will not feel fear, or if we feel bad things will not happen to us, then we will all live our biggest dreams. The only thing that prevents us is our fear of failure. So I just embraced it and I said, I am willing to fail at trying to solve mental health. And then out of that, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have any mental health experience. I'd never built a chatbot before. So I just built this first one, and just people started using it. And today, 3 million people use it across the world. But about 6 months after we launched this, I had a young girl saying that this is the only thing that is helping her hold on to life. She was 13 years old. And that really made us feel like maybe we can actually solve for mental health. And then we kept trying to improve it, improve it. Some of these things take a long time, but the focus is always in, are you living the life you want to live? And what is in your control right now? Because so many things that you think will happen just won't happen. So how can you feel like you're surrounding yourself with people that you can talk about your feelings with? And you're surrounding yourself with things that you can actually control and give yourself, be a good friend to yourself. And for me, it took 3-4 years for this product to become something that would become a business. And I think the kind of uncertainty that you're all going through right now, for me, it was a 4-year period of uncertainty. And I think I got through it just out of focusing on what I could control. I can make this product better in the next 2 months. I don't know when people will pay for it, but I know I can make it better. And then next 2 months, I can make it better in this way. So if you keep focusing on something that you can solve, and all of you are problem solvers, would you say? All of you like solving problems. All in
Of course, this robot took 1 week to make it because I was solving problems.
Arav, be loud. I couldn't hear you, Arav.
Like, it took already 1 week to make this robot, so because to solve all the problems again and again.
Exactly.
What were the problems, Arav? Were you able to do it like at one go, or how did you build it?
I built it like I made one day I made it half and I tested it once, it was not pulling. Second time I tried with one more, that didn't work. Till like that it gone till 1 week.
Arav, did you feel upset when it didn't work?
No.
You know why you didn't feel upset?
I love doing that.
Because if there are no problems, what is the job of our problem solvers?
Yeah, and you're all problem solvers, right?
If something is really easy, have you ever seen a fun game that was easy? If you don't fail at level 1 or level 2 of a game, it's not a game worth failing, worth trying. Somehow in life, we have assumed that if I try something and if I don't succeed, I'm somehow not good enough. If instead we say, okay, game on. The moment you fail at something, say game on. In my mind, it was game on. Is this worth doing? Is this a game I'm going to enjoy playing? In which case, failing at it right now is awesome because it means it's going to be really engaging.
Does anybody want to talk about what makes them upset right now? So like Jo ma'am is talking about, she was unhappy about being in this state. So she did something about it. Is there anything you feel upset about right now? No, Swasti. Driksha, you were going to say something.
Yes, that was. I feel upset when my drawing, just from one single small mistake, my full drawing gets ruined. That time I feel very upset.
I know that is. So what do you do then, Riksha? You have to restart. What do you do? Even Jo ma'am paints and draws beautifully.
And I
So
ruin a lot. And
So
I
what happens? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
no, no, I was just saying, what happens exactly? What do you do?
I just listen to some music for some time, or I just read some books. Then I feel nice again. Then I start doing my drawing from starting.
You know what I started doing, Riksha? When my drawing wouldn't go well, like I would make a mistake, I would say, the drawing is talking back to me. It's saying, I don't want to be this. I want to be something else. What does the drawing want to be? And I would make some other drawing. And then I say, I'll start on the original drawing some other time. I'll make whatever drawing this drawing wants to be now. So I would turn that into a conversation between me and the drawing.
That's interesting.
Sometimes some mediums are very good at that. Watercolors is very hard because you can make a mistake easily. But you can also
Mm.
Yeah.
take that water and just swirl it here and there. And it looks nice no matter what.
Right. Advait, do you have a question for Joe, ma'am?
Ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Aggarwal and I study in Darbari Lal DAV Model School. My question is, what can we do to keep the positivity alive in humans?
Um, so when you think about the neurons in your brain, there is a law that says neurons that fire together wire together. That means there's one neuron that is firing and then another neuron that is firing. For instance, if you smile, generally you smile when you're happy, right? And you frown when you're upset. Now, the neuron that is responsible for smiling and the neuron that is responsible for being happy have come up together so many times that they're wired together. The one thing to understand is this wiring works both ways. So, not only will you be happy when you smile, not only will you smile when you're happy, you will also be happy when you smile. So, a good way to keep your positivity in negative times is to build habits. Build habits for happiness. And for that, you have to understand what are the neurons that have wired together to make you negative. Typically, our feeling not positive comes from feeling the thoughts that we get, which are not positive, which are negative, are about keeping us safe. Our brain is designed to keep us safe, and therefore it will always see the negative because it thinks the negative could hurt us. And it will make the negative look much bigger. If you see a light yellow color and a big red color, you will always see the big red color more, right? So there's certain things that are designed for our attention, and your brain is going to look at that more. So you have to build a habit to, for instance, gratitude. Every day, telling yourself 5 things that you actually are grateful for. Over time, you will see you'll go through the day and find things you're grateful for. And you don't even have to do this with people. I ended up being grateful for traffic lights, like the person who put a traffic light so I could drive on it, or the person who made my bed sheet so that I could own it, and all the people who got that bed sheet to me. So by the end of it, I felt like a princess, even though I was in my house, because there's a whole universe of people working so that I can have a bed sheet, so that I can have a roof, so that I can have a curtain without even leaving my room. And that, once you practice that, maybe 20 days, your brain rewires, your neurons rewire. And then even the simplest of things that happen, they make you feel positive.
What do you, does anybody want to talk about what do you feel thankful for? Like Driksha talked about, when she's upset that her drawing got spoiled or was not looking the way she had it in her head, she would go listen to music or read a book and come back. Um, and has figured that out to stay positive and then come back to it. Um, and now Joe ma'am is talking about, just building that habit of saying, oh, at least I made that. That was looking good. Maybe there's something wrong here. I can fix it there. So you're thankful for something there. Um, can you come up with something that you are thankful for even during this period when you can't go to school, you can't meet your friends, you're stuck at home? Yes, Driksha.
Yeah, I feel thankful of medicine because one who created medicine, like if we feel some stomachache, we always have a medicine and it helps us. And
That
I
is
feel
true. Really, and we never think about that, no? Like there were people who die because they had a infection in the tooth, and now small thing, and we take a medicine and we are fine. So absolutely something to be thankful for. Anybody else? Vasti, you have not spoken.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I am thankful for the doctors that are just risking their lives for us, for keeping us safe and happy at our homes.
And Swasti, I think you also wanted to know how you can help them.
Yes, ma'am.
Sent that question earlier.
Hmm.
What do you think, Swasti? What do you think they want from you?
Ma'am, just the support, not that like you are not supporting them to help yourself, and not just like they are helping you and you are just saying that I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, like that. Just they want the support.
I think most doctors I know want. So if you know a doctor in your family, please go and tell them jokes and talk about anything except COVID because they always from talking about COVID.
In my family, I have only one one doctor in my family. It's my father's sister.
You
She's
have to call her and just make her day. She needs a break from talking. She talks from morning to evening to people, whether they're relatives or their patients or people who are worried about COVID. They're calling her and saying, "What should we do?" So
she
if you
she
talk about your
is
work,
a she can't talk because she is a she does operation and all this, right?
and yeah, so if
She
you
talk
just talk
in the
about your day, she'll feel so good. You are all full of light and energy, and you can de-stress anybody in your life just by talking to them. So just go talk to them about all the fun things, all the other things, and they will immediately be like, "Oh, this is normal." Why? Because happiness, the neuron for happiness and the neuron for you is linked in their brain. So the moment they see you, they become happy. So Swasti, you just have to be you. You can make them happy.
And maybe tell them a joke. Does anybody know a joke that they want to share? No joke. Or somebody remembers some joke.
We'll give you some time to think about jokes. Pooja, can I answer the question you asked earlier about the should? I should not go on a screen.
Yes, please. Yes, that will be, yeah.
First of all, I think that the one rule of mental health, if I leave you with nothing else, is can you please ban this word should from your dictionary and from everybody's in their house, your house, and replace it with want. So if you think you should do something, you will never do it. And if you do it, you will not enjoy it. If you don't do it, you'll feel bad about yourself. So it is a zero sum game. There is no joy in the word should. Have you ever done something because you should do it and enjoyed it? However, if the same thing you could figure out in your brain how to make yourself
I
want
can
it.
ask my question too also.
What's your question, Ara?
My question is how technology can help in pandemic.
Okay, I'll answer that after this question, Arav. Okay? So now, if you have, how do you take this should? I should not be on a device. I should sleep. I should do this. I should help my mother, whatever. And turn it into I want to do something else that is not on my device. I want to go to sleep. I want to. How do you do that? Now you're a problem solver. Think of it as a challenge, and your brain is now the program that you're writing. How will you solve for moving your brain from should to want? I don't know your brain, but what you can do is start thinking about why do you want to do it? What is it that if you rather than focusing on the fact what you don't want, like you don't want to be on a screen, you can think of, I'm sure all of you, a dozen things that you'd really enjoy doing that don't involve a screen. Yes? Arav, what do you enjoy doing that doesn't involve a screen?
Like making robots.
What else? You like jumping on that beanbag behind you?
I don't even playing Lego.
Hmm. So thinking about what you want to do rather than what you should do is the way to get yourself out of the I want to stop. You have to think, oh, I want to read a book. Oh, I want to paint. Oh, I want to do this. Then automatically screen will follow it.
Just one thing is that making robots are like I always want to do that.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, always making robots only.
You only want to make robots. And do your parents mind it? Do they think you're making too many robots?
Yeah.
Oh, so Joe, there is a question from the audience. It's kind of uh, connected question that, for children, reframing it from saying I should to want helps. For a parent, how would do like 17, 18 year? That's the question from Deepa Chavan. Engaging children of age 17 to 18 is difficult in this pandemic situation because they always try to be on mobiles. Is there any suggestion you have for parents? And I'm also in the same boat, by the way. So, any suggestion as to how parents should reframe it and think about it?
I think the word engaging children already means that you're treating your child as a project, not a person. So I think by the time they're 17, 18, I think also when they're 10, 11, it's high time we start looking at them as people and being just curious about them, who they are. Just the fact that, they're 17, 18, you can assume you do not know them. And there will be so many layers to them that you don't know. And this is a good time to be very, very curious about your child. Not about what are you doing, how are you studying, who are you talking to, but what do you think about this? When I do this, what did that make you feel? Or when you do that, how does that make you feel? When some people like this, some people like that, which one do you like? Just people like, people are all at 17, 18 and throughout their life, they're engaged in themselves. If you're curious about them, it's very easy to engage them. Not
Right.
in a project way, not in a what are you doing kind of inquisition way.
And if I could add, Joe, and build on what you said earlier, just the gratefulness also, right? Just the fact that they are around us, right? And they are thinking very differently from us. Just the fact that this 17, 18-year-old, sometimes it can be hard, but to remind yourself that it's a joy to have them around, right? And in a few years' time, they'll be building their own lives and going to college and doing all their things. So to do that reminder for yourself as a parent, it's hard when it comes to teenagers, but it helps, I think.
Saying that you're finding joy out of your 18-year-old is a bit overstatement. I give a award to anybody who can actually be there. Maybe some families, we have
Right.
been through that phase, and it is hard. By the
Yeah.
time, because your child really wants to push you away, and they do not want you to get to know them. They are looking to the rest of the world to build their life in, and you are a part of their past. They will come back. I think keep the faith that they've gone over to the dark side of the moon and they will come back. Don't try to engage them, but be curious who they are.
Right.
You can still understand who this person is without judging them, without making them feel guilty about who they are, without saying, why are you being with me today different than you were when you were 13 or 14? Well, they're 17. They are going to be different. It's very easy to say, it's very hard to do. I struggled with my 18-year-olds. He's now 21, and we have a wonderful relationship. So it gets better.
Diksha, you wanted to answer something or ask a question. Sorry, so you go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask my question first. So my question is, why do like how do we know that coronavirus is affected to an animal or some kind of bird or something? And I have noticed that coronavirus is kind to animals and stuff, but why does it like attack us?
Only humans.
Yeah.
Let's look at it the other way around. why do we only have a name for coronavirus when there are billions of viruses, different types of viruses in the world? We have a name for coronavirus because, Arab? Yes, Arab, you have to unmute.
Arav, you are on mute. You have to unmute.
I kept it on.
Yes, Arab.
Ma'am, like many in Bengal, like Bengali, they call it Corona means don't do that. So it became don't do that virus.
That is true. But I'm asking, why do we have a name for it? Why does everybody know the name corona?
We heard you wanted to answer. We heard you have an answer. Unmute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think corona has a name when so many other viruses don't?
It is dangerous.
Yes. To who? Who is it dangerous
It
to?
is dangerous. Yes,
Who is it dangerous to?
Corona.
It
And,
is humans. So there were viruses
yes,
that are dangerous to pigs, to dogs, to cats. They also have names. But there are also viruses that are dangerous to some honeybees, which you would never have heard of. We all know this name because it's dangerous to us. Why? Because our mind always pays attention to things that are risk to us. That is how our brain is designed, right? And therefore, everyone knows the name corona because it's dangerous to us. So, not to ask why is corona not dangerous to everybody else? Viruses are dangerous to all living creatures. We know corona's name because it's particularly dangerous to us.
is Corona even dangerous to plants?
Not that they know of. So they are still researching whether corona can be in plants, can stay alive with plants. I don't think so. They haven't found any evidence.
It's just stuck on the plants, not attacking the plant.
So you know how a virus works. A virus is only alive when it is a part of another living organism. It is not alive without being a part. So it uses the DNA of the other living organism to combine with its DNA and then start. So only those living organisms that it can actually get into and infect. Now, after infecting, can it only survive there or can it actually hurt that animal? So some animals it can survive in, but it cannot transmit back to humans and it cannot hurt those animals. So it's okay. But humans, it can both survive, replicate, grow, and hurt. And that is why it's dangerous to us.
So there is a question, Joe, and I have a question after that. There is a question from Priya Kasera on, ma'am, can you suggest some activities instead of screen, some art, craft, something?
I do a lot of different things. Do you dance? I think something physical as a part of your day. If you think about things that give you joy, you will often think about it not in terms of screen, but what that gives you. So, for instance, if you're watching a movie, it's because some kind of humor or jokes give you joy. You can also try writing um, a story, which might be like, or you can write the idea for a plot of a story. So in your own mind, you can actually play. I can play whole movies in my mind without actually watching the screen. We are very used to being consumers, but all Avishkaar children are creators. So no matter what you enjoy, if you flip it to being a creator of that thing, you're no longer bound to a screen.
Yeah, makes sense. Arav, you want to ask your question? Go ahead, Arav. And then I will ask my question.
Arav wanted to ask technology in the pandemic, right, Arav? Arav, right now, again, you're a problem solver, Arav. So I can tell you what problems they are, and then the technology will become very obvious to you. There are lots of problems. One, a lot of people have right now said that they want to play with each other. They want to fight with each other. Now, Zoom is solving it from some level, but you could come up with an idea that would help people who are not with each other right now just feel very close, right? It could be using a some kind of software or hardware, or even just a way of people talking to each other. It might be even leaving little notes on each other's desks. You don't know what you'll come up with. But technology is really about saying, let's find a problem and let's solve it in a way that you couldn't solve uh, in person. So think of technology as a way to either, for instance, connect you with a doctor, or connect you with help, or get the skills in rural areas and get consultations for doctors in the main areas to get there. How do you, for instance, when they created, in the hills, just to get oxygen cylinders is very hard. So it's much easier if they can have oxygen concentrators, because they can create new oxygen. But for a hill, small town in the hill, it has to come down, take oxygen, go back up. So just the technology of an oxygen concentrator has solved that problem, that it doesn't have to be refilled again and again. So like that, every problem, there is a solution, and technology plays some role in the middle. But you don't come at it saying, what can technology solve? You come at it saying, what is the problem to be solved?
Right. So I have a follow-up question, Joe, related to this. The more all of what we've been talking about has been so much about our feelings and just being human, and very amorphous in a way, right? How you feel, what's going on in your brain, and so that's kind of mental health, and that's about us. And you kind of married it with technology and something called artificial intelligence, which seems to be the buzzword. um, how do you marry the two? How do you think about technology uh, assisting in something that is so human?
So problem for me was that most of us wanted to feel heard, wanted other people not to give opinions, wanted other people not to get irritated when we said the same thing again and again and their help wasn't helping us, did not want to be considered annoying. And therefore, we didn't tell people what we were really feeling if we were feeling negative. So you needed something that did not get irritated, that did not get annoyed, that actually would do exactly what a therapist would do, but could be free, that could be available to anybody at 4 a.m. like a real person would not. And therefore, I decided to take everything that I wished a person would do and turn it into an algorithm, that if somebody says this, say this, if somebody says this, say this. And the AI was just to allow me, instead of having multiple choice, to have somebody just vent. So I wanted to be able to talk, like, I'm really upset with my son because I keep trying and he doesn't seem like he's caring for me and all of that. I want to just vent. I don't want to say that to anybody else because it sounds like I'm a bad mother or I'm telling on someone I should love. I just want to say it to a bot. To me, that was the role of technology. It solved the problem of me not feeling like I'm being disloyal or annoying or in any other way. It made me feel safe that I could actually talk through what I was thinking. And then it would actually help me to make sense of it, to say, no, he's probably really cares for you, but he's very stressed right now. That's why he's acting that. So that bot would say that back to me and say, can you remind some things that he actually does that show that he cares? And I would then remember them, feel grateful for them, and then I would calm down. So I needed somebody to talk to me like that without feeling like, if I told my mother, she'd be like, you keep saying that, he's very wonderful. And, it wasn't helpful. So a bot sort of solved that problem. I imagined a bot like that would exist, and then I started building it.
Got it. Yeah. And I think there are a couple of questions again here. In the meantime, I want children to think about what makes you angry. Do you get upset sometimes? And what makes you angry? And who listens to you when you are angry? Okay. So we'll have Joe, ma'am, answer one question, which is, there are two questions actually. One is, I can sense that these innovations may be beneficial to our children, particularly in their enhancement towards practical working, but are they really helpful for free thinking of a child? So we'll find out, all of these children are building stuff and they're learning how to use the hands, how to use their brain, and also deal with small failures. Like Arav explained, it took him a week to build that robot, right? It's not as if you just pull all of it together and it's done. So this persistence, this resilience, this ability to deal with these small failures is a huge skill that goes in allowing you to think freely and say, not everything is going to work, right? So it is through building, through creating, through imagining that this free thinking gets developed. So that's my answer for you, Moto X-Force. And then Wonder Thoughts, Joe wanted to know why you thought of starting Wysa. I think you talked about it a little bit early on, but just a little bit about
Sure.
more color on the journey would be great.
Absolutely. I'll do that. I wanted to add a construct. Pooja, you're of course very familiar with this construct because I live my life by it. But a construct of what this platform allows people to do, which is people can look it up. It's called self-efficacy. It's your confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. Now, every kind of success, every kind of free thinking is predicated on any individual, whether they're 2 years old or 100 years old, having confidence in their own ability to achieve their goals. And it's built via mastery experiences, which are tiny. So when you have a small goal and you achieve it, and you have another small goal and you achieve it, and then when you have a small failure, as Pooja said, and you still are able to get over it and achieve that, that gives you confidence to achieve, try something else. And I'm going to link that back to what I did. So all my life, I have been a problem solver. I have been a tech for good kind of person. So I've won many awards globally. And that kind of mastery experiences were really important for me in saying, okay, I'm going to do my own startup. And I started something in helping care for old people. And it was also artificial intelligence to know how somebody is without having to talk to them. And we launched this product. And I had raised money, and people had given it to me because they also believed I could do anything. And I think many of the kids here would relate. When everybody believes in you and everybody thinks that you're great, then you really become afraid of failing because you feel like you're going to let everyone down. And the moment the money came in, the product stopped. I realized that product was not going to fly, that people did not actually want that product. They said they did, but they did not. And Pooja seen me through that time where I became depressed. I wanted to close the company, but I also knew that if I close this company right now, I would never be able to start another company again. And in that, I became depressed. And I had to get to terms with failing. Now, what happened was that I had enough of a failure here that all my past successes became zero. I had no self-efficacy left. I had no confidence in my ability to achieve my goals left. And then I had to flip it to say, I'm okay if I don't achieve my goals. I still want to try to solve for mental. This is something I want to solve for. And if I fail doing it, there's so many people who are trying to solve for climate change and they know they're probably going to fail doing it, but they still do it. So it stopped being about, what I'm going to achieve and started being about how I want to live my life. And from there, it started building. So, but from my own journey, we started by me imagining this existed with no confidence that it would work, using it as a side project. And slowly, we never marketed it. We've never done any ads. We are today at 3 million users in 65 countries. But if in 3 months I had found that nobody's using it, I would have probably shut it down and tried something else. And like that, we did 4 pivots before we got to it. And that's the problem solver mindset. You have to be willing to fail. You have to say, oh, that's interesting, rather than, oh, I'm a failure.
Right.
And when other people tell you you're a success, it's very, very hard to still hold on to that sense that, no, actually, I'm a problem solver. And sometimes I'll fail, and that's okay.
Yeah. And that reminds me takes me back to the discussion, Swasti and Ara. We were talking about Swasti. You won the fencing competition, but could not go to the nationals. And it's a big. Did you feel upset about it, Swasti?
Not really.
Not really.
Mom,
That is
Mom,
why.
because Mom, because the health is much more important than a medal or something else.
That is true. That is true. So, so you're already aware of this idea that, you know, I would have been mad if I was not able to, you know, after having won this championship, I'm not able to go to nationals. So,
So you need an
uh,
Avishkaar kit, I think.
sorry?
You need an Avishkaar kit.
Right, right, right. So has anybody now thought of what makes you angry, upset, and do you talk to someone and someone listens to you at that time? Who do you talk to? Kashvi, you haven't spoken. Yes, Vihar, go ahead.
Of course, no one.
No? Vihar was going to say something. Vihar, what makes you angry?
When teacher give me lots of homework.
Oh, and then what do you do when you get upset? You're upset that the teacher has given you so much homework.
Uh,
Do you
mom
complain
help.
to mother or father?
Mom help me.
Bihar,
Sorry?
I'm like you. I hate homework.
Mom.
Your mom helps you. Yes. Okay.
But do you feel
Any?
angry at the teacher?
Yes.
Or do you feel angry at the homework?
Homework.
You know what I do when I get lots of homework? On good days, bad days, I just avoid thinking about it and watch TV, which is not a good way of doing it. But on good days, I say, I want that homework behind me. I don't want it in front of me. I don't like homework in front of me, but homework behind me is amazing. Homework is really good when you don't have to do it because you finished it. So it's so much more fun to finish it early rather than to be just about finishing it and it's been hanging on your head all.
Absolutely. Advait, did you think of you haven't spoken for a while? What makes you upset or angry?
Mom, actually, I don't know what to say for this.
No? You never get upset?
Sometimes, but I can't say it in words.
Hmm. Okay. Kashvi,
Yes, ma'am.
when do you get upset? When was the last time you got really angry?
I feel upset when anybody slap me.
Oh, really?
It's a good
Yes.
reason.
And then when you are angry, what do you do then?
Nothing.
Nothing. So then how do you get back your smile?
I just cry.
Ah, yes. So crying is also a way of making you feel better, right? A way of venting. If you are upset and sometimes you feel like crying, it's okay.
But Adri, you know, that upset that you feel when somebody takes liberties with you, they slap you, they come into your personal space when they have no right to be. Um, whether it's an annoying uncle or aunt or your own siblings, that upset is trying to protect you. That's a good kind of upset. If you didn't feel upset like that, um, you would not grow as a person and you would not thrive as a person. So some upsets are good. You don't have to get over every upset. Some upsets are there to protect you. When somebody hurts you, that upset is there to protect you. That's a good upset.
Right. So a related question is here, Joe, from the audience, saying sometimes you feel like you do so much for someone, like your sister or brother, and still she doesn't understand you or appreciate you, and then you get angry and irritated. What do you do about that?
Well, the first thing is to realize that this concept of fairness is an illusion. The world doesn't work like that. If it worked like that, then everybody who's putting so much hard work in building the roads or building the houses would be living in those houses and be driving the best cars on those roads. The world does not work on fairness. The world works in being able to understand what you need. So when you feel like somebody is not being a good friend to you, or somebody is not showing yourself you appreciation, instead of trying to control them by doing things for them and making them show you appreciation, you have to recognize that I cannot control them. And it is not a quid pro quo. That's not how the world works. What does happen is this tells me I need to feel appreciated. Now, what can I do to feel appreciated? Either I surround myself with people and I do things for people who do appreciate me, or I appreciate myself. I write 10 things that I do really well, and I say whether this person understands or not, I feel awesome about myself. And I give myself a gold star. And that need for appreciation is yours, and also the control on making yourself feel appreciated is yours. The moment you give that control to somebody else, you will lead to anger and being upset.
Great. Thanks, Joe. I don't know where time flew. We are like almost at the end of the hour, and I'm going to remind everyone before I ask Joe for her closing thoughts. Um, is one of the challenges that Joe ma'am talked about early on is um, think of the problem that bothers you. And while it's great that you are building all of this stuff, you are building robots, you are structuring these things where, there is an idea that, you are building a mini bank, Advait, Swasti, and that's fantastic. Do think about a problem that really bothers you. It could be at home, it could be at school, it could be in front of your house, it could be in your colony, complex, and then share it with us on Let's Avishkar. Okay? Would everyone do that? I look forward to you to what is bothering you? What problem do you want to solve? Right? Just like Joe ma'am talked about her journey with Wysa, and there was a very personal problem that bothered her, and she created this fantastic solution that 3 million people across the world are using today, right? So I would love to hear from, I know you guys are all problem solvers, builders, creators, and I'd love to know from you what you would like to build next, which is yours, which you have come up with the idea. So, Joe, thank you so much. Would any closing thoughts for all the children here, and also lots of parents who are listening to us on YouTube and Facebook?
Absolutely. I'll just close with just reframing for you how you look at invention in the time of pandemic. Across history, and also as a part of any kind of inventive design process, the one thing that has been the best thing for invention has been constraints. Having constraints that you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do that, really sharpens our visibility of how to be creative around these things. And we are all living today in a time of great constraint, where there are so many corona, right? As someone said, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So this is also going to be the time of your maximum creativity. And anything that you can imagine right now, you need to imagine it because you cannot go out and do it. And so let your imagination run free. You do not just have to build or solve problems, but this is a time where your imagination will bloom, your brain will develop your creative impulses because there are so many constraints being adapted to your brain. Use that superpower you have for these months. And I think Avishkar is the best platform for that. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you for taking the time out, and I really enjoyed the discussion. And thank you, Advait, Triksha, Arav, Vihar, Swasti, Kashvi, for all your insightful questions and all of the good projects that you are building, and we are always waiting to see what next you are going to build. I know for many of you, your schools are starting from Monday and it is most likely be online. So hang in there for a few more months, and then you'll be able to meet your friends and go back to your school and then resume the life you're missing. Great. Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks, Joe. Bye.